Okay, so we only have this Zoom room for 40 minutes, so I will start. I'm guessing more people are dropping by, but I guess मतलब की बात वैसे भी बाद में शुरू होगी. So it's okay. You guys can see the screen
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
in the full screen mode also.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay, very good. So we will start. I don't want to keep it very long. I will have time for questions in the end. The whole reason this thing is happening is because many of you have written me emails for SRFP, right? Indian Academy of Sciences Summer Research Fellowship Program. Now, the number of people who have written to me, and also the number of people who have written to me from senior classes, right? Also, because it's not only your year which is applying, right? So this makes it extremely unlikely that many of you are going to get it, okay? So then I was concerned that, like, also I feel that many of you don't really know, basically, I feel, on how to apply to internships. And so basically you think whenever there is a program, that's the only way to do it. I'm sure that some people know that you can email, but I'm going to tell you what is the right way to approach this problem. One thing which I always demand for all of you, whether be it in class or whether be it in anything else, is that you have to be sincere. Don't do it for random reasons. Don't do it because someone else is doing. Don't do it because you think that society expects you to do it. Do it if you are interested in research. So that's what I want to start with. Internships are only for people who actually want to do research. If you have any ulterior motives, please do something else in life, and that is not a bad thing, right? You make a choice and you follow. Okay, before I start, I will put this disclaimer that it's your career, your choice, so don't take all this advice and come 2 years later like, sir, I listened to you and my career is ruined and all that. So I'm here only to make arguments. I will give you some things which I think make sense, but if they don't logically backed by data or trends, which you can see in our own students or students elsewhere, then you may consider following them. Otherwise, as I said, you can listen to all, you can listen to people who are experienced than you, like me, and do what your heart desires. Okay, good. So, right. So the first question is, how many internships do you need? This question I have been getting since first semester, because many of you, I remember, some of you maybe you got some internships in first year, then other people, they come to me and they keep complaining that, sir, we don't have any internships, other people have internships, how will we, succeed in career and all that. So that is actually not a great question. I'll tell you why. Because you do not need more than 3 to 4 projects, okay? Only 3 letters are needed for PhD applications, 3 letters of recommendation, I mean, as of now. And that has been continuing since my time. So I don't see it likely to change in your time also. And I will give you a video here that even with 0 internship, someone got a PhD, okay? Got into a good PhD program. And you can do your own research. By research, I don't mean internship. By research, I mean you can find out how many internships are required to do a PhD, right? You can talk to seniors, not seniors here, because here, IISER Berhampur, I'm sorry to say, I feel that some of the seniors are not spreading the right picture. But at least I will give you some resources from one of our most successful senior, Ritika. You can look at her presentation. And the idea is that you can find what people are doing at other IITs and all that, and you do not need to trust this factoid. My logic is here that if you have too many projects on your CV, let's say you have 5 or maybe let's say 10, then it's hard for the people who are judging your application to go through all of them and to see what you have actually done. So if you have, well, 5 is a close number because I'm already saying 3 to 4, but let's say you have 10. If you have 10, then it's hard for anyone to actually judge what you have done in all of them. Also, if to me, at least, when I'm looking at a CV, if there are too many things you are listing down on your CV, it means that you do not have important enough. That's why you have listed like a dozen of them, right? So although I don't like Elon Musk, but for a long time, I think sometimes people were circulating his resume, which was only 1 page. So people, again, as I said, as a person, I have my differences with him. But if he can summarize everything in 1 page, then there is no reason that, a student like us or, you need like 12 internships or like, basically, if you are listing all of them, that means that you don't have significant enough work. So that is my logic. You can think about that logic. And from my experience of many students I've seen at IIT, my own classmates and students I've mentored and everyone else, I feel 3 to 4 good projects are all you need. And again, I'm giving one extreme example where even without like in an internship, people got into a PhD program. I can tell you how that can happen. But don't worry about like these kind of things. Okay. Then, so this zero internship and basically what she had was actually an MS project. For all of you, one big project is guaranteed. That is an MS project. That will be a year-long project. Okay. You do good job in that. You have a very good recommendation. That already sets you up for a very, very good PhD program. Okay. So you don't need to worry. You need to calm down. And then many people ask me for winter internships from our own students as well. And sometimes they ask me whether they should apply for winter internship. That's why, so it's an opinion. That's why I'm saying it is an opinion. I think winter is not enough time to do anything. Okay. It's like hardly 1 month, and you can't really do a lot of work in that 1 month anyways. So that time is actually better spent in going to home and actually recharging so that next semester you can give your 100%. You might, as I said, that somehow this hustle culture has crept up into our society where everyone is trying to like run around without any goal. But the idea is that you should go home and spend some time with family, come back next semester and ace all the courses. Okay. And then basically, also, as I said, even if you go for an internship, 1 month is not enough to do it. The only exception is that in this 1 month, what can happen is that you can actually, in the same group, if you want to work in summer, then winter can be a good springboard for summer. Let's say you go somewhere in winter, you impress those people, then you can work in that lab for summer. So that is the only exception I can see. Otherwise, you should spend that time at home, and definitely you can try some winter schools and some things to learn things rather than read things, rather than doing things, because doing things take time, and you should do them when you have time, which is summer. Okay. Okay. So then for working with professors in the institute. So I often get requests and I sometimes laugh at them. Is that, sir, we want a winter internship or a summer internship. Okay, summer, I can understand because summer there is a lot of time. But things like winter internships, if you want to work with people here, then what you should target is something called an in-semester project. Most of my projects were in-semester projects when I was an undergraduate. What this means is that while you are doing your coursework, you contact a professor and work with them. I think a lot of our bio friends, I see them often visiting Shantiji. So I'm thinking that they are doing some sort of lab rotation in biology. So I would prefer that kind of project. It's good for you because you have longer time. You have like 4 months, right? And then you interact with them more. You can go to them weekly, and then they can actually vouch for your capabilities better in a letter. So it's a longer time. If you just ask me for a winter internship, hardly any time, and then everyone is busy. And then, as I said, I can't really say that much. By the way, this whole thing does not mean approach me, because as I said, I have made a rule that I won't take people below 3rd year before they have done quantum courses anyways. So that's my rule. But here you can approach other people as desired, but do it for in-semester project. Don't appear for a short time, like winter or something. So why do internships at all, right? For internships outside, especially outside the institute. That is to get the experience outside the institute or to work in a field which is not present in the institute, which is often the case. That's why most people try to go out from the institute in summer and do some sort of internship. Okay. So that is like a headline. As I said, I will stop for questions. I'm not stopping here right now. And then again, I will repeat what I said in the beginning, that the motivation has to be research. If you have some ulterior motives, like I just want to do these internships as a, like a ladder step to do something. See, I mean, everything is a ladder step in your life. That is okay. But if you are doing it only for something like a recommendation, that will cause you grief, because I have known cases where people will deny recommendation even if you have done an internship. Okay. Then you will be miserable. You will be sad. I don't want that to happen to you. So you go there trying to enjoy the time in the lab, trying to enjoy doing research. Do not think of PhD, which is 4 or 5 years down the line. Okay. And many times you will also notice many professors, when they hire for internships, they often say that I'm not going to write recommendation. That has happened to me. I worked in ISC, which was a very big lab. And since they had too many students, and the professor said that as a policy, I do not write letters for summer internships because I get too many and I can't write for everyone. So I accepted that condition. I still went because I wanted to do research, right? So you guys should also think about it, and don't do it only for recommendation. When you are doing it in 3rd year, 4th year, then maybe yes. But for 2nd year at your stage, I would suggest try to get any experience you can. Okay. Now, where to find internship? Okay, so this is again an opinion. Okay, but as I said, I'm trying to make a logic. So hopefully you can see that logic. So what you guys are doing and what I get a feeling from all of you, because you always ask me about these programs, but nobody ever came and said, sir, how can I find an internship at IIT Delhi, or how can I find an internship at at like some other place, right, or other ICETs. And nobody has asked me like that, but everyone asked me for recommendation for these kind of programs like SRFP, some DAD internship, some Max Planck for your seniors. So my opinion, and try to think about it, right? SRFP is Indian Academy of Sciences. Every IIT, every ICER, many of the central universities are going to apply there. It will not be only your year. It will be your seniors, it will be your juniors, and there will be a lot of people. And then the people who are going to look at those applications are not the people who are directly invested in your profile and directly going to take you. Okay. These will be people like, maybe some administrative staff, maybe some clerk, or maybe even a committee of scientists. But those scientists are not the scientists who are going to hire you directly, because there are many people in that IAS, and they have given their request for projects. You have maybe chosen some, but based on your interest, somebody else will decide. Okay, so there is no humane element essentially. So basically, they are not looking for students for themselves. They are trying to do it in a committee. Yeah, so somebody is asking about a stellar score. It's all relative, okay? I would say 9 plus at least, okay? Not 9.5 plus. 8 plus, I have known the cases for 8 plus to happen. But my point is, again, this text itself makes me, a little bit concerned for all of you. Why do you care? Because I'm going to tell you where to find internships other than these, okay? So when I say that here that this thing, these things require stellar scores, that doesn't mean that all of you who are here in the meeting, they cannot find internships. This is me telling you that don't go after these things, okay? Unless you have stellar score, which I would say is, let's say 8.5 plus. Okay, 8.5 plus is good. 8 plus is good for everything. Below 8, you have to be a little bit careful, but possibilities still exist, and we are going to talk about that. Okay, that is why that is the reason I'm doing this whole talk, not to talk about stellar scores. Okay, good. And again, the institute also matters. So that's what I'm saying. State cutoffs will be implemented. The chances are going to be very, very low. So then the question becomes, where to find internships? If not in these programs, where do you go? So then my answer is that you should apply to individual researchers, and it is much, much, much more likely to yield results. And because individually, I also get applications. Well, right now I'm deleting them because I don't have a lab right now. But if I had a lab, I had positions, I would look at them. And if anybody resonated with me, and people have different personal beliefs. For example, I don't attach too much importance to scores, but I would maybe attach importance to something else. Or maybe I can do an interview or Google Meet with the person and then try to find out how good they are and then try to hire them or something, right? So when you apply to individual researchers, A, they don't have that many people to select from. B, a scientist who is himself invested in the case is going to look at you, okay? And they may have different personal opinions, and they may not just go by a standard cookie cut kind of approach, right? So this increases your chances. Also, it is good for you because then you will be applying to people with whom you are actually interested in working. Okay, so it's actually good for your soul and your benefit as well. And also, as I said, for researchers also it's good because they can directly look at the application. They can maybe have a Google Meet, or they can maybe ask you some questions if they are interested, or they can in general ask you to join them. Okay, and because they don't have they hardly have probably 20 or 30 compared to thousands and sometimes millions in the big countries like India for programs like SRFP. Okay, so now how to find internships? So I've told you where. So where my strong opinion is that you should apply to individual researchers where you think you like their research. Now, how to find those people? So open web page of any institute you want and go to the department you want and look at the web page of each faculty and their research interests. Now, when I say this, basically you have to do this groundwork and make a list of priority. This is the topmost person I want to work with. This is the second. This is the third. So make a list and have a big list. Okay, probability is low because, as I said, in my case, I'm just deleting. Some people, they might also delete. So probability is very, very low. But if you have a high number multiplied with low probability, it will still yield a number greater than 1, right? Hopefully. Now, many people, they will say, oh, it is too much work. Yes, that's my whole thesis, right? That if you are serious and sincere about research and you do not want to go to a group where you do not resonate, thus waste time and opportunity for experience or later, then you have to do this work. You have to find people who you are interested in working with, and then actually write to them rather than applying to these generic programs where you don't know who will take you, you don't know where you will go, and whether you will enjoy it or not. There is no way to know. Okay, so you're not in control. That's why I don't like. I mean, again, it's an opinion, and this talk hopefully will be uploaded somewhere. But as I said, you are much better trying to find internships by doing these kind of things. So now let me show you how to do it live. Okay, so I'll stop sharing this and I will share my browser. Or actually, I should just share my entire screen. Maybe browser is fine for now. Okay, good. So then one of you, not Rita Cheta because she does everything. Tell me what you want to. Let's say, tell me a field you want to work in the chat randomly. Cats. Okay, so Vivek want to work in cats. Rita Cheta want to work in biophysics. Photonics. Okay, but let us try the most ridiculous one and see if we can find research on cats in India. Okay. Okay. So apparently, so there might be some biology department. So I'm saying that even there you can find. Although right now I'm not going to entertain that joke thing. But let us look at some other. Yeah, I got some other answers. So let us look at some physics ones. So let us say quarks, right? Quark research in India. Okay. So yeah, so quark means they have given some. Yeah, ALICE India is a quark research groups in India. Or basically, it has to be a broad area. For example, quarks come into high energy physics. Okay. So yeah, for example, immediately I can see. So if you can see my screen, Dr. Raghunath Sahu, IIT Indore, right? I will open him. BITS Pilani Research Group. Okay, I will open. Indian Institute of Technology, Bombay, High Energy Theory. I will open this. Okay. So then I go. Okay. Dr. Raghunath Sahu. Okay. So what does he do? So his research interests are written here, right? Quark gluon plasma, exploration of QCD phase diagram, matter formed at high baryon density. So you can look at these things. You need to do this work, okay? There is no substitute. So you have to be diligent, find time every night, maybe a little bit, let's say 15 minutes, let's say half an hour, every night before sleeping, you can go and, type these things and find these people. And then you have to do a little bit more work. I will tell you what. So this is one way to do it, okay? The other way to do it is, let's say you don't have very specific interest. So I remember one of our friends from your class, he came, he said he doesn't have any particular interest. That is okay. So what you can do is you can simply, let's say, so you make a list of top institutes in India you want to work with. It can be IISc, it can be IITs, it can be ICERs. So let me type ICER Pune, right? So I type ICER Pune. I go to ICER Pune. And then I find research. So then I can see biology, chemistry, data science, earth science, mathematics, physics. So if I go on physics, I can find some sort of details here. The better way to do it is actually to go about faculty. So if you can directly go to the faculty page, that's the best. So because their research, they have not somehow linked directly to the faculty. But the idea is to go to the faculties and then here it says condensed matter, statistical physics, and nonlinear physics. Okay, this was seminar actually. So people, yeah, people. Go to people. Right, and here you have people. So many institutes will list their research interests, like here they have written complex and dynamical systems, biophysics, and cosmology, structure and formation in universe. Quantum transport in nanoelectric devices. Let's say I wanted to apply here. So I will open his page. By the way, many institutes like IIT Delhi, for example, don't have this listed. So then you do the hard work. You click on each faculty profile, go and find their research interests. Okay. So you can find what this guy is doing, and then you can go to their research group website. Okay. You can read. I'm saying you need to do this work because see, many times we think that we are the beggars and we want whatever opportunity comes our way, we will take it. But you have to think that internship is a good opportunity, right? It's like 2-3 months you are going to spend. You do want to do a good work and you do want to get some sort of letter. You don't want to be in a lab where you don't find resonance, right? So that is why it's important to find out the most you can about a particular research group. So you do all your groundwork. So one is reading about this page. If they are personal group, go there and you can look at the publications. I know that at this level, many people do not understand publications. That is fine. You can maybe just read the abstract, okay? You can maybe just figure out what it is about in general, a rough outline, okay? And if you have doubts, by the way, you can also contact your faculty. If you are very interested, I'm sure your faculty at ICER Barampur, they will also help you. Like if you are saying, oh, sir, I'm interested in this work. There is this paper. I don't really understand it, but can you tell me the gist of it or something? And you have seniors also, and you have physics club and you have friends who can help you. So go and look at some publications. That doesn't mean read their papers front to end, but just have a general idea of what they are working with. The another important thing is to look at people, okay? See if their group, what kind of people they have. Do they have enough representation? Sometimes looking at the people can also give you an idea whether it's a good guy to work with or not, okay? And in publications, it's important to figure out if they are active right now. For example, if you look at my publications, then my publications for 2 years I have not really published because I've joined this institute. I don't have a lab, right? So then it's a bad idea to join my lab, for example. So that is why you have to be basically careful and look at the publications, and they have to be somewhat recent if you want to join a lab. Okay. So this is how you can find someone. So you will find many people. I've already listed, for example, for high energy physics, at IIT Bombay, I have, these many people are there. You can look at them and see if they work in Quark or not. Okay. So like Kumar Rao, for example, yeah, you can find, certain like what they're doing, what their research interests are, electroweak symmetry breaking, Higgs physics. So if you find quarks, then you can apply to these guys for the quark example. Okay, Bits Pilani also, for example, there is a theoretical physics group, and you can find what people's research interests are. Okay, good. And again, as I said, if you don't have a research interest, that is also fine. Go to an institute, find people, look at their research pages, whatever appeals to you at this point, and if their website looks good, if they have recent publications, then you can apply to those people. Okay, so that was a live demo of how you can find people to apply. Okay. So then I share the screen back here. Okay, good. Right. So I have shown you how you can find people, and you can find multiple people. I just by showing you, like right now, I found like 3-4 people immediately in 10 minutes, right? So you can also do that. So then the most important part comes is how do you write the emails, right? Again, this is a personal opinion. You can find maybe some senior who has gotten an internship. You can take their draft, and maybe that will be more up to date. So this is again based on logic. If you like that logic, do it. If you don't like, then don't do it. So it has to be very, very short. People are very, very busy. By the way, if Ritachita didn't force, I wouldn't have done it because next week, sorry, I mean, she didn't really force me, but basically I'm really, really busy because next week I have this CSDAP conference and I have to present a tutorial on artificial intelligence. Last week also I was busy because there is this outreach seminar. So faculty typically have a lot of things to do, not only teaching, which many people think. So it has to be very, very short. However short you can make it, it's better. Then this is very, very important. I know that a lot of people are here in this group. I know a lot of people in your class. I know that laziness, which Krishna says tamsa, it takes over us, and we try to get maximum amount of benefit from smallest amount of work. This is not the right approach in life. Please do not batch email. Do not copy paste. Do not send emails randomly to any faculty. Like you open physics page and you send email to all of them. A, it will not be effective because the kind of email I'm telling you needs some work. So A, it will not be effective. You will not get it anyways. And B, you will risk the whole institute and in some case, entire country's reputation if you apply outside. You can find forums on Reddit and all that where people are complaining about Indian students not being good. Okay, because Indian students, they keep saying that, oh, the meeting is going to quit. So then I can actually quit and then we can rejoin. Is that okay?
It's going to end in 10 minutes, so you have time.
Okay, yeah. So do not batch email, okay? And then, so what we'll do is we'll quit and then we can join for Q&A maybe. I think I'm almost finishing. I'm just going to tell you how to email. So again, do not use ChatGPT. This new tool has come up, and I'm seeing that a lot of emails I get, and a lot of emails which people are writing, even official documents, people are using ChatGPT. And at least to me, it is obvious because I have asked many students. I'm generally friendly, so when I ask them, "Did you use ChatGPT?" they typically tell me, and I've seen a lot of emails being written using ChatGPT, and because they want to improve their English and all that. Some of our faculty also uses it, by the way. But they're always obvious to me. There has been no instance where I've not been able to catch it. Okay, so if somebody finds you doing that, it tells them that you're not really putting an effort in thinking on your own. So please do not use it. I'm going to give you a format myself anyways, so don't worry about it. You just need to have Grammarly so that your English is correct. You don't need to write flowery English, big words. So these things do not matter. You'll be hired for physics, not English. Okay. And then again, do not be disheartened if no replies come. Most will be deleted. As I said, I delete any internship emails I get immediately because I don't have a lab. I can't hire people. But records, at least my experience and people I know, and many people in the institute show that they have gotten internships by individual emailing, not by SRFP and all that. Okay. So one simply needs to be lucky, that you need to hit the right lab at the right time. So you can say, oh, how will I know? So you will not know. That's why you have to apply a lot. Okay, you apply to a lot of labs. And then again, it's very funny to me. I don't know, man, what kind of English people are teaching in school these days. Many a times I find people who are in 137 universe, they will know I was somewhat harsh on them about the language they are using in the emails. And so that's why I'm going to give you a format. For example, I got many emails from your class and even your senior class. They say, awaiting your positive response. What does this mean if you're telling this to a person with whom you are asking a favor? This means that you're telling them that you want a positive response from them, right? And if they do negative, you will be either sad or something. So you are basically putting a blame on them, right? I don't like that kind of language. Again, it might be opinion and maybe other people do it, but I've never seen this and I don't encourage this kind of language. Okay, I will tell you what kind of language is good and I'm going to tell you. So a template will follow. Here is the template. So subjects should be clear, which means that you should not be vague. So you have to be polite, but you also have to be clear about what you want. So simply say request for summer internships 2023 or 2024 in your case, okay, whatever. And then dear professor last name, that is the way to address, okay. You can also write respected. In India, it's okay. Outside India, people typically prefer dear. And I think, to my opinion, I think dear is fine. Professor and last name, okay. This will save you from dear sir or ma'am. Don't write sir/ma'am. That's a big no-no because people will think that you haven't even looked at their profile, whether they are male or female, right? So the best way, short way to avoid it is to be professional. Simply say, dear professor, last name. And then you can say, I am, full name. And then second year undergraduate from ISER Berhampur. Now, if you're applying outside, at this stage, do not apply outside because I feel that outside internship should be only after your fourth year or third year. So it should be done only once. And if you do it now, people will delete your emails anyways. You don't have experience. But since I won't give this talk again, I'm just saying that expand this ISER if you're applying outside India. Interested in the field of. So now here you have to be very, very careful and write the field properly. So if you have looked at that person's profile, then you know what you want to write, right? Many people who will be batch emailing, I told you, and I also get such emails, they will just write any generic field. I'm interested in field of condensed matter, right? Or I'm interested in field of optics. That's not the right way. The right way is to find the advisor, see how he has written on his web page, and then according to that you say, okay, I'm interested in field of cosmology in particular, and then in particular, if you can write something specific, that is good. Cosmology in particular, the early universe, or in particular the inflationary theories, right? Or I'm interested in the field of optics, in particular adaptive optics, if you're applying to Vyas, right? In particular retinal imaging, right? If you're applying to Vyas. So I'm just saying, so you have to write this line, and this will only come from groundwork. Okay, that is why batch emails do not work. And that is why batch emails will have a failure for you, and they will also give institute a bad name. So do this groundwork, then you can fill all these things. Then the next line. So again, it's very, very short, only 2 paragraphs. And so I come across some work from their book. It can be a paper or a general line from their research interest. So if you can find some of their papers, you can cite this. But I know that at your level, it might be difficult. So don't worry. You can just write something from there. Some people write news or research highlights. So you can highlight one of these things here that I came across, a new state of graphene from your research web page from your group, which I find quite fascinating. You can change this word, interesting or whatever. Previously, I have So here you have to cite your experience. So somebody is asking what is meant by batch email particularly. Batch email means you take my format, you copy, you fill some random thing like interested in field of optics, and then you copy paste to everyone. You just go to IISER Pune, take all the professor's email ID, you copy paste email, copy paste email, copy paste email. That is called a batch email. So don't do batch email, okay? What you do is you find each professor, make some notes, have a Excel sheet maybe, have a Word document, write down what their interests are, and you also think like whether you want to go to that group or not, because it's your career, right? You want to ensure that you are happy in that group and you can get a recommendation, you work well. So you also take a judgment. It's not only them making a decision, it's you also making a decision. So you also think whether you want to go there or not, okay? So in 3 minutes, I'll finish this email and we will rejoin the group. So I can see a timer, Rizachita, so don't worry. So, right. So here, okay, coming back after answering Ayush's question, that previously, so here you have to write some previous experience. Now I know that in your case, many of you do not have any previous experience. This is fine. Whatever you have, you can write. You can also write coursework. Previously, I have taken many relevant classes, including, then you can list some classes like optics or mathematical methods, or if you are actually interested, that is why I say sincerity is a big thing. You might have done some online course. Like I know some people in your group have done some nuclear physics course, right, online. So you can list that I have previously I have done this online course, or I have read this book. You can even write some book you have read that I have, or maybe even some articles. I have read this article in Scientific American. I have read this article in Physics Today, or I have talked to my this faculty who told me that this field is very interesting and I want to explore it more. But show that previously you have done something. So that line is important, okay? And again, if you have doubts about how to write these things, you can individually come to me, I can tell you, okay? And then the next line, I feel I would be able to contribute. This is not necessary. This is good for senior people who actually have some skills. Sorry to say, you guys, I don't know how much you guys have. But if you can write, I feel I would be able to contribute in, then you can write coding, statistical analysis, experimental work. This can also be your interest. What do you want to do? Do you want to look at data? Do you want to plot charts? Or do you want to do some experimental work, handle chemicals or grow materials, or maybe do some animal work, or you want to code for them and you want to write programs for them. So based on their group, when you read their web page, you will realize what they're about. And then based on that, you can say, I feel I would be able to contribute in this line, productive. And if you can't find anything, that is okay. If you can't find anything, just say, I feel I would be able to contribute productively to the research. But again, that makes the letter, again, watch Ayush was saying batch email or a generic email. Those emails do not work because you have not done your homework. So typically writing some line here works, but you don't find it's okay. You can just say, I feel I would be able to contribute productively to the research. Then the final line, please let me know if you have any summer internships openings in your group. So here you are simply asking if they have openings or not. Then I have attached my updated resume, and you can also sometimes attach letter of motivation, but I don't like this because again, don't copy the same letter of motivation to each group. Even if you have a generic letter of motivation, you can add some lines here and there, 2 or 3 lines you can change and tune it to a particular group and then send. Okay. So I will stop here and I will join again because the meeting time is ending. So I will stop and then I will join again. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So you guys, end and I will join again.